Trains and buses, games and songs, come join us and sing along. Transit Tots is where I'll be, the coolest place in NYC. Welcome to Transit Tots.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Transit Tots. My name is Dana, and I work at the New York Transit Museum, a museum in Brooklyn, New York, where we talk about all things transit and how we get from place to place. Now, every week for Transit Tots, we like to sing the Hello song. Do you know the Hello song? If you don't know the Hello song, that's okay, because we're going to sing it 2 times. Can you hold up the number 2? 1, 2. That's how many times we're going to sing it. And we like to sing the Hello song to get to know how we're feeling. So how are you feeling today? I think I might be feeling wiggly. So we're going to sing the Hello song about how we feel wiggly. And we're going to start singing on the count of 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm wiggly, I hope I'll calm down soon. Nice job. Let's go in for round 2. Are you ready? We're gonna sing on the count of 2. 1, 2. Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm wiggly, I hope I'll calm down soon. Nice singing! And I think I got some of my wiggles out doing that song. Now that we've sung the Hello song, I think we're ready to move on to the topic for today, which is...
Ta-da! Tenji blocks. We can see a Tenji block right here in yellow. What shape is this Tenji block? Point to the shape that you think it is. I think the Tenji block is a rectangle. Let's take a closer look at a Tenji block. You might notice a bunch of smaller shapes inside of it. What shapes are those? They are circles. Do you think you've seen a Tenji block before? Tenji blocks, also called tactile floors, can be found in subway stations. The blocks are placed right before the gap in front of the train to remind people to be careful, or they might fall. Tenji blocks can also be found on sidewalks. Can you spot danger in this picture? Tenji blocks are placed on sidewalks right before a street to remind people to be careful before walking onto the road where fast cars are. Tactile floors make our community safer and more accessible for people who might not be able to see very well. When someone can't see very well, they feel the circle bumps on the Tenji block and know they need to stop because it might be dangerous.
Now that we have an idea of what Tenji boards look like and are used for, let's get an idea of how a Tenji board feels. Tenji boards tend to be bumpy. Can you say the word bumpy? Let's say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Bumpy! Bumpy tends to mean something feels lumpy. Bumpy objects tend to have lots of little shapes on it that make it feel kind of funny. Now, I actually have a bumpy object right here. Have you seen this before? You might have found this in your packages. It's called bubble wrap. And bubble wrap tends to have lots of little shapes on it. What shape is a bubble? I think it's a circle. So bubble wrap tends to have lots of little circles on it that make it feel bumpy. I also find that bumpy objects can sometimes make cool sounds. So bubble wrap can pop. Oops. Sometimes I get a little carried away with the popping. Now, since we just explored a bumpy object, what do you think is the opposite of bumpy? I think the opposite of bumpy is smooth. Can you say that word with me? 1, 2, 3. Smooth. Now, a smooth object tends not to be lumpy, and usually it doesn't have a lot of little shapes on it. I actually have a smooth object right here. This is a bowl. What kind of shape do you think my bowl is? I think it's a circle. So we have a circle bowl here, and it's very easy for me to move my finger across because it's smooth. Now, it doesn't make fun popping sounds, but I do think that it makes nice tapping sounds. Now, let's test our knowledge of bumpy and smooth. I'm going to hold up a couple of objects, and I want you to tell me if it is bumpy or smooth. Now, you can say the word, or you can point to the screen of whether you think that object is bumpy or smooth. Are you ready? Let's get started.
The first object is an Easter egg. Do you think this is bumpy or smooth? This object is definitely smooth. The next object is a cup. Do you think it's smooth or bumpy? This cup is smooth. Next up, a yoga mat. This mat has a lot of little shapes on it. Do you think that means it's bumpy or smooth? This mat is bumpy. Last but not least, bubble wrap. You should remember this one. Is it bumpy or is it smooth? See all the little shapes on it that pop? That means that this is bumpy.
Nice job. I think we're ready to learn about more textures. Now, we know Tenji boards can be bumpy, but they can also be hard. Hard means an object is strong and sturdy. Are you strong? I don't believe you. Show me your muscles. Oh, I think you are pretty strong. Actually, I have a strong, hard object right here. This is a cooking pot, and it's made out of metal. It's a hard object because it doesn't bend or break very easily. I'll even try to break it. I didn't break it. It's a very hard object. Now, the opposite of hard is soft. Soft usually means something is cushiony, or it could mean easy to break. I have a soft object right here. This is a pillow. It squishes, it can bend, and I like to sleep on it because of how soft it is. I don't think the pan would be very nice to sleep on. Now, let's test our knowledge of hard and soft. I'm going to hold up a bunch of objects, and I want you to tell me if you think that object is hard or soft. You can say the word, or you can point to the word on the screen. Are you ready?
The first object is a glass jar. Do you think this is hard or soft? This is a hard object. Next up is a wood block. Do you think this is soft or hard? This is hard. Here comes my favorite, a piece of fluff. Do you think this is soft or hard? So squishy. The fluff is soft. And finally, the pillow. Do you remember this one? Was it soft or hard? It's definitely comfy to put my head on. The pillow is soft.
Nice job, everybody. I think we're texture experts now. The MTA puts textures on the ground so that communities can be safe. People know what they can do based on the textures that they feel while they are traveling about. I think it might be fun to try to make our own tactile floors.
To make your own tactile floor, you will need aluminum foil, scissors, tape, a pencil, and cardboard. Thinner cardboard is easier to work with. I find cardboard from pasta boxes works great. Start with a piece of cardboard. Grab your scissors, and then cut out a square or rectangle, big enough for little feet to fit on. Next, grab something to write with, grab another piece of cardboard, and start drawing shapes. Traditional shapes for tenji boards are circles, but get creative and practice your shapes. Try triangles, rectangles, even hexagons if you want. The outlines do not have to be perfect. I have a wobbly hand myself. Now, grab your scissors and cut out all of those little shapes. These shapes do not have to be perfectly drawn, and so they don't have to be perfectly cut either. Now, grab your cardboard square, the cardboard shapes, and tape. You can place your shapes onto the cardboard in any arrangement you want. Then, you can tape your shapes onto the larger cardboard square. If you're low on tape and have glue, that works too. Once all of the shapes are taped down, take out the aluminum foil. You'll need to cut a piece a little bit bigger than the piece of cardboard. It should be able to wrap around the back at least a little bit. Flip your piece of cardboard over, shapes down, onto the aluminum foil. Then wrap the aluminum foil around it and tape it onto the back of the piece of cardboard. Try to keep the aluminum foil tight as you tape. Once taped, you can flip over your piece of cardboard and take out your pencil. You will flip your pencil to the eraser end and then push around on the board until shapes appear. Look at that, a rectangle. Keep pushing around until all of your shapes appear. If you want to add more texture, draw on the tenji board lightly with your pencil. And there you have it, your own bumpy tenji board. I encourage you to make more than one. And when you're ready, put them together and feel the textures. You can feel the textures using your hands or using your feet.
That is the end of today's Transit Tots. Today, we learned about tenji blocks and how they can help communities be safer and more accessible. We also learned about 4 different textures: bumpy, smooth, hard, and soft. Tell me, which is your favorite texture? I think that's a pretty good one. My favorite texture is smooth. In today's Transit Tots, we also got to make wonderful texture art. I'm pretty proud of mine. Now, before I go, I have one more challenge for you. I want you to find textured objects in your house. Try to find one object that's bumpy, one object that's smooth, another object that is hard, and one more that is soft. Try to think of it as like a texture scavenger hunt. So I hope you enjoyed today's Transit Tots, and I'll see you for a future one. Goodbye!
Trains and buses, games and songs, come join us